On June 30th of this year in Atlanta, Georgia, tragedy struck on the 6th floor of a sealed high-rise. Most of the footage you will see was shot by local camera people as the desperate events of that summer morning unfolded.
Yes, we have a fire on 1710 Peachtree Street, northwest in Buckhead. There are people trapped in the building.
What floor is it on?
We can't tell. They're throwing things out the windows.
We're on the way.
The first call for help came in at 10:30 a.m. There would be 20 more.
Engine 49, signal 10, 17.2 feet. A heavy smoke on the 8th floor of a 12-story high-rise.
And the front door?
Hi, and you have a fire on 1718 Peachtree Street?
Yes, sir, we have that. We're on the way.
We have an ambulance, too, we need desperately. Everybody's jumped.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Bridge 15 to Metro. We need an ambulance on us as soon as possible. We got a person that's jumped out of the window. Injured.
A chain of 4 electrical explosions in a 10-story office building had set off a fire. Dozens of people on the 6th floor were trapped almost immediately.
When I seen those people in that window, I knew what they were going through, because it's very easy to panic. When you're breathing, you can't get air, and you see all this clear air out there, is the one way to get it, and that's to jump.
Michael Blackman was in an office on the south side of the building.
It was such a cold, stark realization all of a sudden that we're trapped, and there's no way out. And I think we all the people I was with, we all thought we were dead.
I just picked up the chair my chair from my desk and threw it through the glass. Several of us were there at the window, gasping for air. One of the women, Cassandra, apparently didn't have any more oxygen in her lungs, and I guess the natural response is to get to where there's oxygen, and so she climbed out as though she were trying to climb out on a ledge, but there was really no ledge there, and she fell. None of us saw it coming, or certainly someone would have tried to stop her.
I felt fright, you know, for them and plus for myself, and not knowing what state of mind they were in at that time after seeing one of their co-workers plunge to the ground.
I remember stopping about a third of the way down and just holding on tight and taking a big gulp of air, and it was real sweet. And of course, at that point, we didn't know that any others had found a way to get out, so it was still a pretty black moment.
This was a 5-alarm fire. It involved 15 engines, 9 truck companies, 4 command teams, 4 rescues, our squad unit, air unit, total 134 men on the scene at one time. We've seen mass casualty incidents that were not of this magnitude. On a scale of 1 to 10, this was a 10.
The last person brought out of the hole that Michael Blackman had broken in the side of the building was Eudora Rogers.
We knew that she was unconscious when we brought her out, but we didn't realize, you know, we didn't know how bad she was. We knew that we had to get her out. On the way down the ladder, I mean, it was something that I had never experienced anything like that before in my life. I had never, you know, did any kind of rescue like that. It seemed like every time I looked behind me, I had just that much further to go. I don't know, I just felt a closeness to her. I really did.
I had seen them bring Eudora out, and I knew she didn't look good. I didn't know if she was alive or not at that point. There was no question in my mind, but that if she was alive, she was in very serious condition.
Eudora was revived at the scene, but died 3 days later in the hospital, a victim, like most fire fatalities, of smoke and toxic gases. On the back side of the building, in an area ladders could not reach, Solomon Williams had managed to drag his unconscious friend to a window and break it out.
Okay, we got a helicopter coming, we got a rope team going to the unit, and we can't get a ladder back here.
When I came down the stairwell, I looked up and I saw him hanging in the window with his buddy. And that touched my heart. Because here's a guy that, you know, that's near death and hanging on to a friend, and there's no one to help him.
I know, being a veteran firefighter, that people will jump because you cannot stand the intense heat and fire. Anything is better than that. I also know the fact that I had an excellent company working on another front that was 30 yards away from it, fighting 1,000-degree heat that was determined to reach him. Those men on that floor, I say with all honesty and sincerity, would have died before they come out.
I went on to the window and got to him, and I said, partner, I can't take both of you. I could just take you right now. Let's sit him down on the floor, and we'll come right back for him. He hooked his arm around my BA, and I grabbed the back of his belt, and then we took off. I just followed my hose out.
Solomon was taken to the hospital, where he was treated for seared lungs and smoke inhalation.
What he did for the gentleman that he was holding there and cradled in his arms, there's just not too many people like that I know of that would go through the pain and suffering that he did. He grabbed somebody and he went through a lot of pain and the victim didn't live. There's nobody to pat him on the back and say, you did a good job, but he did. I mean, he did more than I did up there. He's the man that's amazing to me.
Breaking the windows out is what saved their lives. If they hadn't done that, they would all perished. And as Chief Perrin spoke, if there had been a sprinkler system, might have only been one death.
Eudora was one of the most special people I've ever known, and myself and several others have realized how much we benefited from having known her, and it almost overcomes the pain of losing her. Seeing Cassandra there with her eyes open and seeing all those people up there alive in that window, amidst all that pain and terror, those really were special, just beautiful moments. They really were.
20-year-old Cassandra Hayward somehow managed to survive her 6-story fall.
After the incident, when I really regained conscious, and at times when I was in the hospital, there were times when I would just lay there and think myself, is this really, am I really here? You know, it's still hard to believe because, I mean, when you think about what all has happened, it's really a miracle.
In my 12 years working for EMS, I've never seen a patient jump that far and survive.
Let me just kind of...
Cassandra broke both legs, her pelvis, and had severe internal injuries. But doctors feel certain that with therapy, she will walk again.
19, and one more, 20. So.
I thank God that I am here and doing as well as I am and can return to a normal life someday.
Solomon Williams is trying to rebuild his life.
That was just help from so many people. I mean, we got, it's just unbelievable how people did things. Even up to, say, yesterday, a lady from Marietta, Georgia, came down with a teddy bear with my initials in the chest, a ladder, which I told her I wish I had when I was in the window. I mean, it was unreal. She said she just had to make it up for me.
I really felt like I had done something. I just wanted to walk around with my chest out and thinking that, you know, I'd really done something. Okay, it's really a good feeling, you know, that you were a part of saving somebody's life.
Michael Blackman and the others have already gone back to work in the same building where the fire occurred.
It was miraculous that we got out. I feel blessed. I feel like I've got a second chance. Whether it's really a miracle or just good luck, I don't know, but it was certainly fortunate for those of us that did get out.
5 people died as a result of the fire, but more than 24 others owe their lives to the Atlanta Fire Department.